Hi, I'm Melissa Creighton from Liberty University, and today I'm going to talk to you about the evidence that exists that supports Noah's Ark, the story from the Bible. It is one of the most popular and well-known stories and discusses the great flood that destroyed all sinners. Not only does the story feature in many cartoons and shows, it is also one of the most debated topics among theologians and scientists. Some theologians have spent much of their careers looking for the site where Noah's Ark could have come to rest. People argue for and against the possible truth of this story. There are many aspects of the story that are debated, such as evidence of the worldwide flooding and the scientific possibility of fitting two of each animal onto the ark. There were many sources to address this issue, as papers are often written looking into different aspects. Today we're going to discuss some of the common debates, and I think you'll see that the evidence does exist to support the biblical Noah story. First, we're going to talk about worldwide floods. Is there any evidence that supports worldwide flooding? Not exactly, but there is evidence to support huge floods all over the world that would have had devastating effects on their regions. At the Black Sea, shown here, core samples show that the area was once rich farmland and then was fresh water fed by rivers. Finally, there's evidence that there are saltwater species that were previously unknown in the Black Sea, proving that at one point ocean water flooded the area. The geologists who have done the work to prove scientifically that the Black Sea, now a saltwater ocean that used to be a freshwater lake, believe that this is the flood that the Bible refers to. Archaeologists have found evidence of a massive flood in Mesopotamia around 2900 BC. Well-known underwater archaeologist Robert Ballard used advanced technology to explore the bottom of the Black Sea. There, they found an ancient shoreline 400 feet below the surface, proof that a catastrophic event took place, according to Ballard. The Sumerians from this area were the first to tell the story of Noah, except with the name Zusudra. This flood resulted from the Tigris and Euphrates rivers overflowing and destroying many cities. A lot of people believe this flood could have been the one referenced in the Bible. While it may not have covered the entire earth, it could have covered all of the known earth to the people at the time. In speaking on this, Montgomery said that would have been a disruptive event that flooded the whole known world to the people who were living there, and that could have gone on to see the story of Noah's flood with some of the survivors who fled to Mesopotamia. Another geologist, J. Harlan Bretz, spent much of his career researching what he believed to be a massive flood from a glacier-dammed lake draining into Portland, Oregon, and western Montana, creating a huge delta and turning Willamette Valley into a vast lake. In 1940, geologist Joe Pardue discovered huge ripples at the bottom of Lake Missoula, leading many to find similar landforms all over the world and giving evidence that these ripples were caused by glacial dams melting and releasing huge amounts of water in floods. There's also geologic evidence of flooding in the Tsangpo Gorge, Tibet, and in the Grand Canyon. Whether one of all or all of these massive floods were the one that the Bible referenced, there is scientific proof that life-altering floods have occurred all around the world. There's been a lot of debate over the years on whether the ark described in the Bible could even float. According to Genesis, the length of the ark was 300 cubits, its breadth was 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. A group of 4 students in Leicester did the math and discovered that the ark could indeed float, even with the added weight of the animals. They factored the volume of the ark according to the dimensions given in the Bible, and they used the density of cypress wood for their calculations. Because a cubit was measured from a person's elbow to the tip of their middle finger, it can be anywhere around 45 to 52 centimeters in modern terms. Therefore, the students used an average of 48.2 centimeters in their math. Also, using the known density of seawater, they proved mathematically that the ark could float and hold a lot of animals as well. According to the same students' study, mathematically, the ark could have held 2.15 million sheep, using sheep as an average-sized animal. The ark would have been much larger than an average ship. There would have been anywhere between 2 and 3 million square feet spread over 3 levels. The animals could have been infants, making them smaller than they would otherwise be, and some animals that existed at the time were not called to board the ark. According to the website run by Ark Encounter, Recent studies estimate the total number of living and extinct kinds of land animals and flying creatures to be 1,398. With their worst-case scenario approach to calculating the number of animals on the ark, that would mean that Noah had to care for about 6,700 animals. Not all animals would have been needed either. They only needed a pair of each kind of animal, providing the genetic diversity required to produce the different kinds of animals that we have today. Many sites have been posited for the location of where Noah's Ark came to rest. The most recent and seemingly most likely place is found on Mount Ararat. Scientists from Turkey and the U.S. have analyzed soil samples from the Dur Pinar Formation and found evidence of human life there dated to about 3,000 to 5,500 BC. They will continue to analyze this area in hopes of finding more information. Finally, I offer the Bible as proof of Noah's Ark. Scripture is supported by first-hand accounts of the events that take place in it. The letters written by the apostles affirm that they investigated the events they speak about and that there were other witnesses who can verify the seemingly unbelievable stories. The Bible has more manuscript proof than any other historical work, including Homer and Plato. And there's archaeological proof that people and events mentioned in the Bible truly existed. Many people find it hard to believe that a lot of the stories in the Bible are real. Here we have covered that there have been massive floods all over the earth, including one in the correct area around the correct time that would have devastated the then known world. We have also shown that the ark could have been seaworthy and could have held all the animals needed for today's populations. We discussed the possible location of the ark currently, as well as proof of life at the area at the time of the flood. Lastly, we show that the Bible itself is proof that Noah's Ark was a true story.